what are the cleanest foods at Sprouts when it comes down to just grab and go? Snacks, chips, bars, whatever. What are the cleanest possible options that you can find right now in 2021? Let's head into Sprouts and take a look. Sprouts puts a lot of effort into their buying, right? Into their purchasing in general. They pay attention, okay? They have different buyers for different categories, and they all pay attention to the ingredients. And I'm not just saying this to tout Sprouts. Like, Sprouts did not sponsor this video. But what I wanted to do is be able to showcase a place that, I don't know, puts their best foot forward when it comes down to food items. That way you know whether you're shopping at Sprouts or not. Sprouts is just a good place for me to showcase what I think the cleanest snack or on-the-go items are. Okay, the first thing I found already, check this out. These Banana Plantain Chips. No matter what the flavor on these are really awesome. Now, here's the reason why. Check out the ingredients here. Okay, we have plantains, we have a little bit, okay, coconut oil, sea salt. Even in this particular case, that's flavored. We have maltodextrin, which is like the worst thing that you could really find in this, and it's not that bad at all. The thing I like about plantains is they are very unique. They're not like bananas. Okay, they are a very unique prebiotic fiber. Now, I'm not saying that it's something you go around and you eat all the time, but look at the ingredients here. Plantains, coconut oil, Himalayan pink salt, okay? So the reason that these are gonna be a little bit better is they're A, super low glycemic, which means they're gonna have less of a potential impact on your blood sugar, but also because of the green banana flour, or the plantain flour in this particular case, that is a phenomenal, basically fodder for our gut bacteria. So you might find after you eat them, if you're not used to it, you get a little bit bloated. That's not like a bad thing. In this particular case, what's happening is you are contributing to the production of short-chain fatty acids. So I just wanted to highlight those. I think that's a great item. Oh, I just found another one. I think I've talked about this in other videos before. Check it out. Okay, this one is called Epic Chicken Crisps. They have a cracked pepper and a pink Himalayan flavor. And what I do like about these is if we look at the ingredients here, chicken, coconut flour, pink Himalayan sea salt, and sea salt. That's it, okay? So not only is this potentially ketogenic friendly, but it's also just very bare when it comes down to the ingredients. That makes me super stoked because that's telling us, okay, we have an item that is going to work for all walks of life. I mean, not if you're vegan, obviously. But again, a lower carb item is not gonna have any carb impact necessarily or in terms of blood sugar. A little bit in terms of the coconut flour, but not enough to really trigger an issue. Now, this wouldn't be a Thomas DeLauer video if I didn't kind of point out some things that are a little bit deceptive. Sprouts does a good job, but come on, I mean, they gotta have food for everybody, right? So these RWRC organic sweet beet crackers, they're basically a corn chip. This is what you wanna watch out for. Organic stone ground white corn, organic sunflower oil, and or safflower oil, organic red beet. It's got a little bit of beets in there, but the point is that it's not really a beet cracker. It is a corn chip with like some red beet coloring. Ooh, yes, I found something cool. Okay, these are fava beans and they taste delicious. Check this out. Okay, it's from Enlightened, which is crazy. It's Enlightened, that's the ice cream company. Like, what are they doing with fava beans? Check this out, look at these ingredients here. This is a sweet cinnamon flavor. So this has some, this one has a little bit of sugar in it, but then they have ones that don't have them in it. Okay, so sea salt, bada bean, bada boom. Look at this. We have broad beans, which are fava beans, sunflower oil, a little bit of rice flour, and some sea salt. Now, I'm not a huge fan of having the rice flour in there, and the sunflower oil, but overall, the carb content is coming from the beans. It's not coming from the rice flour, so I'm not too worried about that. So is it perfect? No, but here's what's cool about it. I mean, when you look at those ingredients, and also just let me explain about fava beans. Fava beans are one of the only foods that contain what is called L-DOPA. L-DOPA is the precursor to dopamine. So when it comes down to cravings, there's a true psychological advantage to having something like fava beans because it can be a precursor to dopamine, which can allow you to feel like you satisfied that reward center in your brain. Now, it's not talked about a whole lot. People just market them because they're a satiating bean and they work well in terms of just, I don't know, just a simple grab and go snack, but I try to look at the psychology. I try to look at the bigger piece. L-DOPA is a big piece and not a lot of foods contain that. So that makes the cut. Oh, and something to note about sunflower oil. Look, it's not the end of the world. It's not something that I look for. I don't exactly get excited about sunflower oil, but I like it more than soybean oil. The thing you have to remember with sunflower oil is omega-6s are not the end of the world, We just don't want to have so much in the way of omega-6s that we're never able to allow omega-3s to do their job. Omega-6s and omega-3s compete for the same conversion enzyme or absorption enzyme. So when we have so much omega-6s, it makes it so omega-3s can't do their job. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be consuming omega-6s. They're in practically every snack food. So if you try to avoid them, good luck. Here's one that's technically a keto item. Okay, we've got like these Birch Benders pancake and cookie and brownie and cake. I will tell you, out of all these, they're all pretty erythritol-y, which I'm not opposed to erythritol, right? But the problem is like so much of it, if you have a ton of it, you'll start feeling it. Like you'll feel it in your brain, you'll feel bloated. So I will say these Birch Benders pancakes in a cup, these are okay. Like this, they're not that sweet, so they're like a quick on the go. You just add some water. So in this case, almond flour, we have high oleic sunflower oil, I'll explain in a second, inulin, sodium caseinate, sunflower lecithin. You know, there's a few things. Let's see, sodium bicarbonate, that's just baking soda, natural flavor, beetroot powder, xanthan gum. Okay, so the worst thing that's in here really is going to be the sodium caseinate. Sodium caseinate is also just kind of a preservative. Is it something that you want to avoid altogether? You don't want to have it every day, okay? It is a preservative. It does have an effect on the gut. It does have an effect on how you feel. So you do want to just kind of watch it a little bit. But the thing that I like about that product is at least we're not loading up with sugar. So a quick on-the-go kind of snack. Just big kudos to them for throwing something out there that's realistic, that's portable. Oh, I did want to say one more thing about sodium caseinate. Some can argue that sodium caseinate can convert more so into glutamate, which means that it could be considered an excitotoxin. So you may want to consider not having an item like that pancake cup at night if you're very sensitive. Excitotoxins, just like the name implies, they excite the brain. So they kind of help tilt that glutamate scale more towards the glutamate versus the glutamine towards the GABA scale. What that ultimately means is it excites the brain and it could amp you up. So is it the cleanest item? No, because it is something you may want to consider avoiding at night. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Oh, I found these bars. Okay, when it comes down to like a non-perishable bar, a bar that is going to be okay on the shelf, doesn't have to be refrigerated. These Love Good Fats bars are so good, so good. And this, oh, they have my favorite. It's a mint chocolate chip. They have a plant-based option and a non-plant-based option. Yeah, here we go. We've got, oh my gosh, they have all the cool flavors. Look at this. Okay, they have, wow, coconut chocolate chip. They have lemon mousse. Yes, they have my lemon mousse. Cookies and cream. Okay, then they have mint chocolate chip cookie dough. Ooh, this is awesome. They've got the good ones. So the reason that I like these, and I'll show you the label in a second, as far as like shelf-stable ones go, they've really put a lot of focus into cutting sugar out. They're not necessarily a keto bar, although they are keto-friendly. So I'm going to show you really quick what they look like here. In fact, let's grab a box. Easier to show the ingredients here. Okay, see, they really fix my mask here. We're in California, mask mandates are back. If I want to film, I have to wear a mask, sorry. Fat blend, so we have peanut butter in this particular case. So that's maybe not the best one because I'm not a big peanut butter guy. But let's say, here we go. So in this case, we have sunflower seed butter. So we're not using soy oil or anything like that. We have palm stearin, we have milk protein isolate in this case. So they're using isolate, not concentrate, which I'm a huge fan of. Look at how stevia is up in the list. No erythritol, they're not using that. Okay, whey protein isolate, soluble corn fiber, which I actually like as a sweetener. So look at that. The ingredients, we are looking so clean. I personally consider Love Good Fats a clean bar. You know, when you look at a lot of this stuff that's here, a lot of it's just garbage. Like, let's take a look at a Luna bar for a second, just to give you an idea. Like a Luna bar, look at this, rolled oats, soy protein isolate, roasted soybeans, rice flour. It's just frustrating. Okay, I definitely recommend you check them out. Okay, so Love Good Fats, they have been a sponsor on my channel for, my gosh, like 4 or 5 years. Like they really have been like one of the original sponsors, because I reached out to them after I tried them and was like, you guys are one of the original shelf-stable keto bars. So I put a link down below for you to check them out. That way you can try them out yourself. They are a supporter on this channel. They are a sponsor, full disclaimer, making sure I disclose that. But if you shop at Sprouts, when it comes to, again, these bars, like all the bars that are in the non-refrigerated section, I have my, like some bars that I like in the refrigerated section and things like that, but that's a different category. When it comes down to just grab and go bars, you've got to try these Love Good Fats bars. Okay, seriously, they are amazing. So if you have a Sprouts nearby, try either the lemon mousse flavor or try the mint chocolate chip flavor. You will love them. And again, they have both plant-based options and non-plant-based options. I don't see the plant-based options here, at my Sprouts, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. So anyway, make sure you check them out. They are awesome. If you're not doing keto, I would say a relatively wholesome bar that I might recommend is going to be like a Lara Bar. And the reason I say that is, look at this. 2 ingredients. Okay, in this particular case, what do we have in the ingredients here? So simple. Cashews and dates. I'm not a huge cashew guy, but I gotta give them some credit. Okay, in this particular case, we have 6 ingredients. They are not keto friendly, they are not low carb, but they don't have much to them. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about how can you do the most with the least? When you're grab and go options, when you're trying to find shelf stable things, you're usually seeing a laundry list of ingredients. So I love seeing short lists of ingredients, like the Love Good Fats bars in the world of keto and low carb bars. They're pretty short list, but they're also keto friendly. In terms of foods that might be sweetened with dates and stuff like that, again, like that Lara Bar, possibly an RX bar would be okay. Let's see what other stuff there is. Ooh, these Naked Rhythm. Sorry, this isn't Naked Brand. Naked Brand is great too. But organic Beet Chips. Oh yeah, it's Naked. There's nothing else on them. That's where I saw. Check these out. Organic beets. If you are looking for something to have, if you're not doing keto and you just want like a little pre-workout kind of snack, straight up baked beet chips or air-dried beet chips, tremendous source of nitric oxide. What that means is you're getting a potential like blood flow benefit. You're getting more potential oxygenation. So you want that nitric oxide effect. That nitric oxide is what allows you to kind of have that pump, right? Well, beets are one of the highest natural sources of that. So when it comes down to nitric oxide in a naturally occurring form, those beet chips are awesome, and there's nothing else in those. Let's take a look at some of the other brands or other things they have. Same kind of thing, except this one just has sea salt added to it. And then look at this, carrot sticks. People bag on carrot sticks all the time. Well, this one does have some added stuff. Organic carrots, high oleic sunflower oil, sea salt, organic rosemary. Organic rosemary extract is used as a preservative. They use it instead of a preservative, so I'm happy to see that. High oleic sunflower oil, is that something you should be concerned with? Generally, no. Okay, all the high oleic sunflower oil means is that it has the oleic acid concentrated out of it to make it even more shelf stable, because sunflower oil is what is called an omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acid, which in its oil form, in a shelf stable form, could go rancid somewhat quick. High oleic forms do not go rancid as fast. They can still go rancid. And there are studies that demonstrate that yes, there actually is more oleic acid in it. And technically, yes, that would mean that there's less alpha linoleic acid and less conversion into what's called arachidonic acid. So if you got down into the granular level, one could make the argument that high oleic sunflower oil is actually better, but it's really splitting hairs. It really is. The thing I don't like is that you're combining a relatively high glycemic carrot along with oil. Let me see this one real quick. Okay, here we go. The one that doesn't have the sea salt, the straight up organic carrot sticks. I'm gonna grab some of these. These look awesome. This is a great one. Okay, carrots also contain a bunch of pectin in them. So it's a soluble fiber. So like when you compare carrots to corn to peas, you look at instances of people that consume corn, and over like long studies, like 4 years, they find that just one extra serving of corn or peas can attribute to like 2 pounds gained over that 4-year period of time, just by having a little bit extra corn each day. Whereas something like carrots are gonna be lower glycemic and gonna be richer in pectin, which is gonna again help out that gut microbiome. Anyway, I'm rambling. Ooh, I just found something super cool. Check this out. Sacha Inchi seeds. They are spendy, they are pricey, okay, but Sacha Inchi beans are not only super high in omegas, but they are also one of the only complete proteins that you can get in a nut form. Okay, they are actually a complete protein. So they even have, in this case, Sacha Inchi protein powder. See, complete protein and amino acids. You're actually getting your essential amino acids that you need there. They're just pricey, but if you were looking for a wholesome protein, oh, here we go, here's a smaller one. So we can get like a smaller bag for $4.99, not have to buy a $20 bag there, or a bottle. That's pretty cool. Wow, there's some other interesting stuff here. 70% keto sweet cacao wafers. It's this roasted salted, oh, that's just this, yeah, I'm gonna grab one of those. Definitely, that's an awesome source of protein there. Okay, here's an example, same brand that was really good that we have to look out for. Watch this, look at this. Here's these cauliflower bites with buffalo ranch. We have cauliflower, high oleic sunflower, which is in the end of the world, but then it gets interesting. Maltodextrin, okay. Raw cane sugar, onion powder, garlic powder, flavor, yeast extract, ding, 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 that is still an excitotoxin and is basically another word for MSG. White distilled vinegar, tomato powder, that's all good. Okay, it's not terrible, but they're definitely adding some like flavors in there, but that's probably just because it's a Buffalo Ranch thing. So I always recommend going for the simple flavors. Don't go for the complex flavors. I know you're trying to get like a little bit of a different zest and a little bit of a different bite, but it can play a pretty big role in your cravings throughout the course of the day in terms of how it affects your brain. I just came across these. I've never seen these Lark Ellen Farms cacao cherry grain-free granola bites. I'm sure they're very caloric. Let's take a look. Yeah, a quarter cup is 140 calories. Actually, only 9 grams of carbs though. 11 grams of fat, 3 grams of saturated fat. Organic sprouted raw nut and seed mix. So sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Ooh, nice little mix there. Could probably do without the cashews, but I love seeing the pumpkin seeds. Nice zinc source there. Okay, then we have, let's see, unsweetened coconut. Maple syrup is the sweetener, so we get some fructose there. At least it's not going to be as big of an insulin spike. Organic unsulfured dried cherries. Ooh, they're not adding sweetener to it. Organic cacao powder, organic chocolate liqueur, sea salt, organic Coke. This is pretty stellar. Okay, I mean, here's the thing though. Okay, you are definitely combining fats and carbs. Not something I recommend people go out and do. Don't just go be like, I'm gonna have a bunch of carbs and fats combined, because what happens is there is this potential for something called metabolic gridlock. I'm not saying you can never combine them, but realistically, we aren't designed to be consuming both of those at the exact same time. Think about it, okay? From an evolutionary standpoint, like, we're not going to be harvesting a bunch of nuts and a bunch of sugar at one same time. We're gonna harvest nuts and then we're gonna eat it. And then we're gonna harvest some fruit and we're gonna eat it. We're not, like, from a starvation standpoint, from a survival standpoint, we're not going out and grabbing everything we need for a given meal and then sitting down and compiling it. That's not really how our bodies work. Our bodies work much more in the sense of, oh, I'm gonna go find something to eat right now. And oh, I just came upon a stash of almonds and I'm gonna eat those. And oh, I just came upon a stash of apricots, I'm gonna eat those. But you're not typically finding them at the same time, okay? So metabolic gridlock is where the mitochondria has a harder time processing these things all together. Doesn't mean don't ever do it, but I usually like to keep carbs and fats somewhat separate. My general rule of thumb is if it has more than 10 grams of fat, it shouldn't have more than 10 grams of carbs in a serving. General rule. Funny, because now I just found another thing that is interesting. I like this because it's such low ingredients. Look at this. Sprouted organic cookie crisps, but it might be a perfect example. Let me show you. Okay, we have 140 calories. We have 10 grams of fat. We're right at the limit. And 10 grams of 14 grams of carbohydrates, but 3 of which are fiber. So we are 1 carbohydrate away from really this being something that I could like feel okay eating as long as my calories are in check. But there's a saving grace here. The main carbohydrate source is dates. Dates are going to be fructose related. So fructose utilize what is called the GLUT5 transporter. They transport into the portal vein of the liver via a different system. So we do not have an insulin spike that goes along with fructose. So in a lot of ways, with small amounts of fructose, granted that's a lot of fructose in this item, so not necessarily applying, but I'm just teaching here, that amount of fructose isn't necessarily going to cause an insulin spike, so it's not going to trigger that metabolic gridlock. So what my simple point is with this is that 10 gram of carbohydrate rule or 10 gram of fat rule can sometimes have a little bit of amnesty granted if it's mainly fructose. So if the sugar is coming from fruit versus like cane sugar, et cetera, et cetera. So I would still consider that a halfway decent item. Ooh, bada boom. I love these chickpea snacks. I just know they probably add some weird oil to it. Yeah, oh man. Well, you know what? Okay, I gotta say, in the order of hierarchy with oils, sunflower oil would not be that great. High oleic sunflower oil would be better. Expeller pressed high oleic sunflower oil, even better. So actually they're using probably the better oil that they could possibly use. The only thing that could be better would maybe be some coconut oil. You know, you can't really just get away with a lot of different oils in processed foods. I hate to say it, no matter what, these are processed. I love these, so I'm gonna grab some of these. Whoa, that's way too close up. Sorry about that, children. Just found something else. Kalahari Crisps. I've never seen these before. Air-dried beef chips. So they're a lot like those chicken chips. Let's see here. Okay, what do we have? We have beef, salt, vinegar, 2% black, where did I see that? Dried beef stock, sunflower oil. Okay, so the only downside is if you're doing carnivore or you're like trying to keep it really like keep the seed oils out, this randomly has sunflower oil in it. I wish they used a different oil, But look at that, these Kalahari Crisps, air-dried beef snacks. I've never tried them, but I'll tell you, this is a very light bag that I'm getting for $4. California prices, of course. Then they have this other brand, or the same, sorry, different item, Kalahari Biltong. This would be a better option. So in terms of price, $5.99 for Biltong. This is just getting you more of a crunchy, crispy snack. This is actually getting you nutritional value. So in this case, look at this. Beef, vinegar, salt, coriander, rosemary, black pepper. That's going in the basket for sure. Ooh, I just found something super cool. Check it out. Okay, I've got my Chomps, which I'm a huge fan of. Okay, in fact, they have this new flavor. Check this out, pepperoni seasoned turkey stick. The thing I like about the turkey items that they have is look at this. Look at the calories. Okay, we get 10 grams of protein for 60 calories, only 2.5 grams of fat, one of which is saturated fat. So in this case, we have free-range turkey, water, encapsulated lactic acid, the typical kind of stuff that you would see in like a stick, except a heck of a lot cleaner if you ask me. So I would say, you know, the turkey sticks, the beef sticks, super, super clean in my humble opinion. I love seeing Chomps here. And then I also, Chomps is gonna hate me for saying this, but I really do like these 4505 butcher snacks. And as far as protein is concerned, you are really getting, look at this, 24 grams of protein. 4505 is the company that makes like those really good pork rinds that I always talk about. So it's really cool to see this. So this is a tremendous find. The red hot one is actually pretty kicking hot, like it is. It actually, if I have too much of it, I'll have a stomach ache. I like the original one. Just the original recipe is super good. So if you're looking for a richer protein snack, bang for the buck. I love Chomps, don't get me wrong. Like love, 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 love them, and I eat the heck out of them. I almost said a bad word. But 2 for $4 right now, protein bang for the buck. You're getting double the amount of protein, if not more. So I would definitely roll with that, but I would just get both. They're both good. People ask about plant-based jerky. Country Archer, let's see, oh my gosh, look at the ingredients here. Whoa, I mean, oyster mushrooms, at least you get vitamin D. Guys, I would have to do a whole separate video on this. What the heck? I'm not gonna say anything's good or bad, but we don't have 30 minutes to go through an ingredient list just because someone wants to eat plant-based jerky. That's just, I'm sorry, that was messed up to say. But anyway, check this out, portobello jerky. This is some awesome stuff. Whoa, I don't know about that flavoring. Roasted garlic, black pepper. Let's see. Okay, in this case we have portobello mushrooms, tamari soy sauce. Yay, no gluten. Salt, sugar. Dang it. Why do you have to have sugar in there? Bummer. But other than that, that's it. Yeah, that's a lot of carbs. 7 grams, so 30 grams of carbohydrates, 7 which is fiber, 19 grams of sugar. I do know that portobello mushrooms don't have a lot of sugar in them. So hopefully, unfortunately I should say, is coming from the added sugar. I am a huge fan. That is a tremendous way to get vitamin D in if you don't eat meat though, I will say. It comes in a vitamin D2 form, which vitamin D2, still mushrooms that are UV treated will absorb vitamin D the same way in a very similar fashion that the human body absorbs vitamin D through the vitamin D, basically, what is it, D25 hydroxy vitamin D, I think is what it is. So anyway, vitamin D2 is just, it's not harder to absorb, it's harder to transport. There is a vitamin D binding protein, and the vitamin D binding protein has a much stronger affinity for vitamin D3. So what happens is vitamin D3 takes a ride on the binding protein, travels around, does what it's supposed to do, gets to the pool of vitamin D where we have just the source of it in our body. Vitamin D2 still gets there, it just competes with vitamin D3, which is much stronger. So vitamin D2 is not going to contribute to that pool as much. You just have to eat a lot of it, okay? The best way that you can get vitamin D outside of food is the sun. You know that. Ooh, I do like this company. Who makes good stuff? Not keto friendly, but I have not seen these before. So what are these grain-free cookies? No sugar added. I'm always excited about this kind of stuff. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, we got date. Oh, not dates, date. It has one, I don't know if that's one date or what. Date, organic coconut oil, organic cocoa butter, unsweetened chocolate. That's awesome. Let's see, fiber from chicory root in this particular case. Let's see, cassava flour, cashew flour, flax seeds, sea salt. You know what? This is pretty awesome, actually. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of here is cashew flour. And the reason is just because cashews are so high in phytic acid, that it can actually inhibit the absorption of a lot of potential minerals and things like that. Let's just compare it. I've never seen this before. This is just totally on a whim. This grain-free better cookie, Aaron Baker's. Let's do a side-by-side here. Okay, so we have a 28 gram serving versus a 30 gram serving. 120 calories in the WHO, 130 calories in this one, 8 grams of fat versus 9 grams of fat, 14 grams of carbs versus 13 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fiber versus 2 grams of fiber. Really pretty close. So now let's get down to the ingredients. Ooh, coconut nectar. I like the coconut nectar better than the date paste. Cassava flour, coconut oil, almond flour, cashews, cocoa, unsweetened coconut, water. Man, it's a toss-up. It is a toss-up. So now, I mean, really, like we are talking like very similar items here. So it's gonna come down to what are the flavor profiles? Almond butter, coconut cashew, or snickerdoodle chocolate chip peanut butter. I'm a chocolate chip sucker. I'm gonna try these. That's pricey. It says they're keto friendly. No. Hey Sprouts, I know you're watching this video. I know you are because you watch my stuff. Sprouts is awesome. Guys, that's not keto. Please take that keto label off. That's no way. 30 grams of carbs in a bag. Come on, y'all know better. Come on, maybe it's a mistake. Give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. Oh, I have not seen these before. Catalina Crunch sandwich cookies. I do like Catalina Crunch. They do have some pretty good stuff. Let's see here. In this case, we have palm fruit oil. Interesting as a first ingredient. Pea protein, allulose, rice flour, chicory root, cane sugar. A little bit of a frankenfood, but it's pretty clean. And something that I definitely miss on keto. I think I'm going to try them just because I'll let you know. Let me know in the comment sections if you're curious my review on these, because look, they're not something that I would say is the cleanest thing. The palm fruit oil, that's not the best way to start a product. Pea protein, allulose, I do like to see that. That's a good one. Let's try that. Ooh, and this is something I'd actually give to my kids. Okay, check these out. These are called Lesser Evil Paleo Puffs. I like the cheesy ones, but the Himalayan ones are even cleaner. So check this out. These are basically cassava puffs. So in this case, stupid mask. Okay. There we go. Okay, we have cassava flour, which is a resistant starch, which means that it's basically just contributing to the gut microbiome, very limited carbohydrate effect in terms of blood sugar. Coconut oil, organic tapioca, which is essentially a more distilled, refined cassava. Tapioca is derived from cassava. Organic coconut flour, organic sweet potato flour, and Himalayan salt. This is a resistant starch, just awesomeness, meaning a lot of the carbohydrates in here are going to be, let's see, in this particular case, what would they be, RS1? I sometimes get it confused. There's RS1, RS2, RS3, and RS4. It's definitely not a resistant starch 4. I think in this case it would be an RS1, where it's just a resistant starch that doesn't break down, whereas RS3 is like a retrograded. Anyhow, I'm getting nerdy. Point is that is a great little snack if you're not doing keto, if you just want to be able to have something that gets you that crunch like a chip, but without the huge blood sugar spike. And I can say that from my own anecdotal experience, because I wear a blood sugar or glucose monitor, continuous glucose monitor a lot. And when I eat those, a lot of times I'll even see my blood sugar just stay the same, barely have a blip. I've never seen it go down like some people claim. But anyhow, that's just a great snack. So again, it looks like this. They'll ask me about these all the time. These shrewd food, keto things, I would not necessarily like. Okay, we got, let's see. Milk chocolate, cocoa butter, erythritol, unsweetened chocolate, whole milk powder, inulin, non-fat dry milk, soy lecithin. I mean, it's just a frankenfood. I actually have seen much worse items. In fact, let's see. I think like the regular protein puffs are actually worse. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. So we have milk protein isolate, whey, cheddar cheese, milk. You know, it's not that terrible. Got the sodium caseinate again, so it is kind of an excitotoxin. So again, be careful. They use that as a preservative, but sodium caseinate, yeast extract, things like that, you just gotta be careful with because they are still technically considered excitotoxins. Monosodium glutamate, things like that. Okay, so with these Catalina Crunches, this is a cereal, and I consider it still a snack because people are gonna, you know, snack on cereal. I will say, keto friendly, and it does taste good, but I notice, and I think I've noticed one of my friends on Instagram, I'm not even gonna say his name just in case, because he didn't disclose the brand, but it looked like it was this one, and he saw a big blood sugar spike. When I wear my continuous glucose monitor, for some reason I see a blood sugar spike too, and it could be from the potato fiber, it could be from the pea protein, could be a little spike there, because otherwise I don't see anything else that could really be triggering a huge blood glucose spike. Pea protein sometimes can trigger an insulin spike, but there's a difference. Like when protein is spiking your insulin, you have what is called the insulin to glucagon ratio. You have insulin and glucagon both going up in order to essentially make it so that you're not draining your blood glucose by having protein, right? So it's protecting you in that sense. So your insulin glucagon ratio is very important. So if you were to have like just straight carbohydrates, yeah, you might get a big spike in glucose. But if you were having protein, the spike in insulin is also along with a glucagon spike, and it's canceling each other out. So the insulin spike with protein doesn't matter nearly as much. Here's another product. I actually like this one. It does have, I think, some sugar in it. Yeah, it's using coconut sugar. It's called Love Grown Grain-Free Cereal. Pea protein, cassava flour, tapioca starch, coconut sugar. That's their sugar choice. I like that. Potato starch could cause a little spike. Flaxseed, coconut oil, natural cinnamon flavor, natural sweet potato flavor. I mean, okay, if you're not doing keto and you're looking for like a cereal option, sure, there's some coconut sugar in it, but that seems like a pretty good item. In fact, I'm going to grab a little bit of that. Toasted coconut almond. No, I'm going to try honey nut. Again, it's not something I'm going to eat all the time, but I mean, my cart looks pretty clean considering. Here's another one. Organic grain-free O's. Let's see, in this one. Ooh, this one's nice. Cassava root, navy beans. Ooh, cane sugar, dang it. Pea protein, sunflower oil. Okay, this one has the oil in it, which I'm not a fan of. They're adding oil, whereas I don't think this one had oil. Ooh, yeah, they're using almond flour to give it a little bit of some fat. I like that. I dig that. That's a good idea. More brands could take that up. Rather than adding like high oleic sunflower oil or safflower oil or grapeseed oil or rapeseed oil or soybean oil or whatever, go ahead and just utilize some almond flour. But you're still getting the omega-6s, but at least you're not adding additional refined seed oils. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap this up. As always, keep it locked in here on my channel. Make sure you comment down below where you want to see me shop. I wanna hear it from you, okay? I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Love Good Fats, down below in the description today.